have you now. You now. You now.
Alright, that's 2 down so far. This is the one that got our boy Arenvold.
You're finished! Fight on! I have you now! I will not be outdone!
And thus another plan went up in smoke. I am beginning to see why Lord Xenos thinks so highly of you. Not that this changes anything, you understand. You have merely earned yourself a stay of execution.
Glory be to Garlemore.
How fare the tempered?
We've treated as many as we can, but some were beyond help.
Do not hang your heads so, brave scions. Though not all of our captured brethren could be saved, we are grateful for those whose minds have been restored. You could do no more, and that is enough. So please hold your heads high.
Should have been quicker. But I'll do better next time. Thank you for your kind words. They mean a lot.
A victory at great cost, but a victory nonetheless. We must stay strong and press on. Isn't that right? To the very end.
And that was the end of the post-Shadowbringers storyline. So, we don't really learn that much about Fandaniel's ultimate goal. Of course, we're saving all that for Endwalker. But we do learn a lot. Hold on, my headphones are like really loud right now. I love this song, but I don't know, I like to admire the artwork. Oh, Reen! We haven't seen Reen in a while. Yeah, when they give these credits, they gotta credit every character from the beginning of this expansion to the end. They even credit Halric. I don't remember Halric having a voice. Not towards the end he spoke, maybe. So Fortunaut, is that how you say his name? Fortunaut Lebrier? That was Louis Bois' son. Now I know Alistair and Alphino talked about their father like in, I think, the Binding Coil of Bahamut quest. Maybe some point in the story they mentioned their father here and there. But it always seemed to be like some sort of like, I don't know, some sort of situation where they were closer to their grandfather. Because obviously, when they see their grandfather, it's like, oh wow, it's like he was really a big influence on their lives. But no, Charlian, you hear about Charlian over and over again. And I feel like for all the credit they give Charlian, it's always like eluded us what their true intentions are, because they seem to know something about the final days, about Heidelin and Zodiark, that nobody else really knows. But they won't share that knowledge with the rest of the world. And so it comes as no surprise they're not going to, try to fight the Garlean Empire, let alone, the Ascians. And I don't know if Fandaniel is the last of the Ascians. I don't think he is, because there's a lot of Ascians, but I'm pretty sure whatever Fandaniel's ultimate goal is, it has something to do with Zodiark and Heidelin. They bring up a lot of good, plot holes in this segment of the game, like, why haven't we heard Heidelin since after the Dragonsong War, and all that. And, I like how they call back to things that happened in Stormblood and Realm Reborn. Yeah, there's so many callbacks to Heaven's Ward. And Estinian joining the party. That was one of my favorite things, because, I always figured Estinian to be more than just a side character. I always figured him to be a main character of the story, basically, beyond just Heaven's Ward and, the Dragon quests. So they did a lot of things great with these characters. They knew what the fans wanted. I think they're very, very close. The developers are they have a very close relationship with the fan base. Oh, they're gonna show us everything. One big roller coaster of emotions right here. One other thing I'm starting to notice is that it seems like, you know, Heidelin isn't as supremely good as we thought, and Zodiark isn't as supremely bad as we thought. You know, they're just like the original two primals. But I don't know what that entails for our characters, because, you know, they've been pretty much entrusting, you know, their everything to the blessing of Heidelin. That's, you know, protecting the Warrior of Light and all that. Like, the Warrior of Light, like, we, the Warrior of Light, are Heidelin's chosen champion, but we don't actually know what that means, you know. We assume that this means that they're special and, you know, we're the heroes of the story. But I feel like they're gonna go deeper into that in Endwalker. Like, everything they did in Shadowbringers, I feel like there was a reason for all of it. It wasn't just like, here, go to a new world and experience a new world. I mean, there was all that too, but, you know, there was some deeper meaning behind it all. Like Elizabeth, you know, trying to become the Warrior of Light. I think that Shadowbringers really added a whole new layer to who the Ascians are and what their ultimate goal is. Because, there he is, Mr. Final Fantasy, as everyone calls him. That part was awesome. That's when I thought we were gonna get the credits, but no, we get the credits here. You know, and I like that it's genius how they based his look on, you know, Yoshitaka Amano's art from way back in Final Fantasy 1. You really feel for the Ascians because, you know, they once were people, but their entire existence, they're a little bit like nobodies in Kingdom Hearts, like their entire existence is long gone. You know, they're unable to really die in peace. You know, at first when I played this game, I thought a lot of the influence was from Organization 13 in Kingdom Hearts, and you know, it seemed that way at first. It seemed like, okay, they were just the bad guys, but you know, there's a whole layer to them. It looks like there's a whole layer to them. You know, the organization in Kingdom Hearts. It's just like a whole bunch of layers to what their motivations are and who they are as people and such. and this one also adds a layer to us, the player, like what our motivations are, like who we become, because it's like we don't really know why we're on this quest. It's just like we've stuck it out for so long. These have become our family, so to speak. So, of course we're going to protect everybody. But I have a feeling like the ending is going to be something really like noble. Like maybe we sacrifice ourselves. I have a theory, and this is actually something I thought was really cool. Maybe at the end of Endwalker, after we've defeated Zodiark and Hydael or whatever we do, after we defeat Zodiark, maybe we sacrifice ourselves and then create a whole new character in the place of ourselves. So like reincarnate into a new character, and that's how the story continues. I don't think they're gonna do that, but I just think that's cool. Because I heard that they did that in Dragon Quest X, which is another successful MMO by Square Enix that has never come out of Japan, where you make a character, and after the prologue of that game, your character dies, and then you have to pick, your race or whatever, your tribe, and that's how that game goes. It's like a whole reincarnation thing. I think it's interesting when games do that. They play with these mechanics and they incorporate story elements into them. Yeah, so this expansion, what did it do? It gave Merlwyb some more story. It gave Connie Senna some more story. Connie Senna, she doesn't really do much. She sets up the meeting with the envoy from Charlie, and I guess that's important. Merlwyb has that, tender moment with the kobolds. We're sorry we stole your land, basically. Fandaniel kind of reveals his intentions, although I think he's kind of playing with his words a little bit. He wants to bring about the final days. But what does that entail? And it's like he's not like the other Asians. It's so weird. It's like why is he not trying to bring back the Asians' homeworld? I don't get it. Then there was the whole thing with the lunar primals. This whole thing is leading us to going to the moon, but it didn't really explain how that's going to go. I think at one point Urianger says that they're building a machine very similar in stature to the towers, and when he said something like that, I was like, oh, could that be a spaceship? Could that be the ships we go to the moon on? Like we saw in the trailer, on the title screen to Endwalker, there's a spaceship. So I'm wondering if that's something that either Sid builds or we steal from the Guardian Empire. I'm thinking it's more the latter. Fortunate. I'm probably pronouncing his name wrong. Fortunal. He's a cool character. I'm excited to learn more about what his whole deal is. Like, why is he, it's like, come on, Dad. It's like, why is he such a, why is he so cold to his kids? They've been through like so many near-death experiences. Like, come on. I get like that's their culture. Like they're not really. I guess they don't really give into emotion and stuff, but still. We didn't see Xenos at all in this quest. We saw him in the last quest. After he picked up what, I assume is the big large scythe that we saw in the Endwalker trailer. So, Xenos is also another interesting character. They put Xenos in the city of Final Fantasy N2. Now I know that game doesn't have a lot of relevance to a lot of people, but the fact that they put Xenos as the flagship villain character, opposite to Stola, who's the flagship hero character of 14, he's the main representative of 14, I guess. That's saying something. That's them showing the moon again, next to the crystal tower. I was like, oh yeah, that's the moon. It's looking kind of different. And reading about what they did with 1.0, because I remember reading about it back when 1.0 was still playable, how the lesser moon Dalamud kept getting bigger and bigger, and just like a big red dot in the sky. On every patch, they would make it bigger and bigger. It was alluding to something. Like it's pretty genius. You just kind of make it consistent with the story. Okay. That was it? No, there's something more. Let's see what everyone has to say. I will recommend that the Alliance keep a closer watch over Cartanu. The Telepharoi may have failed in their attempt to destroy the Confluence this time, but there is naught to stop them from trying again. The Cartanu Flat seems fated to play a prominent role in the history of the realm, do they not? I wonder, might the abundance of ether that floweth through the region have led the Elegans to entomb Omega there? Wait, let me read that again. The Cartanu Flats. Throughout the battle, I could not shake the feeling that all present were performing for the amusement of Fandaniel. Nor did his blithe reaction to this latest defeat give me cause to think otherwise. I can only conclude that such failures are of little consequence to his broader scheme, whatever it may be. Though many the enemy there were, their numbers consisted largely of tempered beastmen, with few lunar primals to keep things interesting. The Garleans themselves ventured little, and lost less. It has ever been the Empire's way to have others fight their battles, but even they would blush at the Telepharoi's use of tempered slaves. It was decent of Lord Emmerich to bear us home aboard his airship. The gods know only how we would have squeezed this many people into the bonanza. So Emmerich took us home. The tempered that we were able to treat will be taken to the city-states for observation. As soon as the Alliance is satisfied that they're fully recovered, they will be free to return home. At the close of the battle, when the clouds parted and the moon shone down on all of us, I cannot well express how I felt. Somehow it seemed more than a beginning than an ending. You should have seen my face when Lord Emmerich turned up on our doorstep. Did none of you think to send word he was bringing you home? No. Lord Emmerich. I trust you all enjoyed a comfortable flight aboard the Pride of the Ishgardian fleet. Lest you worry, the Bonanza has been towed to a nearby location to be retrieved at your convenience. You have thought of everything, Lord Emmerich. May I say how much I appreciated the hospitality you afforded us on the way home. To think nothing of it, our destination lay in the same direction, and it afforded me the perfect opportunity to learn how my errant friend has been since last he took his leave. It would seem you have finally found a place to settle down. I merely grew weary of wandering the Far East. Returning to more serious matters, all the Terephoroi have been driven from Cartanu. 'Tis like the bulk of their forces yet remain. On the evidence of the Grand Company of the Eorzea's first joint military operation, however, I am confident that we have the potential to meet such threats head-on, even without the aid of you and yours. As such, while our forces keep the Telepho at bay, I would ask that you apply your talents to the task of neutralizing the towers. A sensible division of labor. While the towers remain, so too will the threat of the lunar panels. Given our expertise in the field of aetherology, we are better qualified to find a solution. That we are, especially should it happen to lie beyond the alliance's dominion. If there is a time and place for formal investigations, of course. But certain secrets are wont to hide where only enterprising individuals may venture. I could not agree more. There are none better suited for this task, nor any upon whom I would rather rely. On behalf of the Alliance, I thank you. We look forward to receiving any information you are able to uncover. And with that, I must take my leave. Should you have need of assistance, pray do not hesitate to ask. Fare you well, my friends. I confess, I had hoped to be able to study the towers more closely, vital as they plainly are to the Telephoros' plans. If we can discern their ultimate function, we will be one step closer to understanding our enemy's grand scheme. Should we succeed in neutralizing them, of course, it is all but certain that the Telephoros will mount to an all-out invasion. And then it will begin. The one who waits at the heart of the chaos will come for us, for you. Yet in the end, our true nemesis may be the calamity to end all calamities, the final days themselves. Yes, alright, Alphino. We need a plan, not potence. As Tancred so eloquently pointed out, we are in a position to seek information from all manner of places, not least Sharlayan. According to Kryl, the forum may have been more secretive than ever of late. While this may be related to the appearance of the Telephoros, that remains a matter of speculation. But one thing is clear, the forum is determined to keep us from discovering the truth. Master Fortunal's performance at the Lotus Stand was enough to convince me of that. The matter beareth further investigation. I do heartily concur. Nor can I think of a more promising place to look for the answers we seek on the matter of the towers. Sharlayan hath ever been the wellspring of etherical knowledge. I care not where we go. Here or there, my lance will be ready. And what of you, Ulrich? Might you be persuaded to join us? Plot a course for Sharlayan, if it means I can have words with Fortunal. An island of bookworms and bureaucrats? Have we no other choice? If it means I can have words with Fortunal. Only after I do. If he and his friends in the forum think we'll leave them alone if they ignore us, they're in for a shock. It appears we are in agreement. We have but to wait for Kryl to secure the necessary permissions. In the meantime, there is a matter I would investigate. Does it involve tall structures? By a strange coincidence, it does. At present, I have only a creeping suspicion, but with your help, I will soon find out where my fears are warranted. You have learned the emote shush. Meanwhile, in the Garlean capital. Oh, here we go. I thought they weren't going to show nothing. There it is. There's your scythe.
Those Eorzeans certainly are a stubborn bunch, though I suppose you knew that already. My plan to redirect the ether from Cartano came to a rather less than satisfactory conclusion. It was, in many respects, an abject failure. Which does, of course, raise the question of where we are going to procure the requisite amount. The obvious solution would be to draw on resources a little closer to home, though that would require our dreamer to dream a trifle more deeply.
So be it. The dreamer will not complain.
Then let us begin the preparations at once. With the gateway of the gods complete, all that remains is to gather the necessary ether, and our prize shall be within reach. The time has come to fulfill your heart's desire, my desire! To relieve those wretched creatures of their meaningless existence!
While I await you, I shall drink a sea of souls and gorge myself upon the darkened moon. Then you shall come to me, all roiling rage and rancor. And the stars shall bear witness to our final contest.
What's going on here?
As I thought, the ethereal currents have been disturbed here too.
It was the same in Thanalan. Make that every location we surveyed.
And the strength of each current has diminished dramatically. Far more than could be attributed to a natural occurrence.
What tidings bringest thou from Dravania?
We took a number of readings, and noticed that the closer we were to the tower, the lower the etheric density became. In short,
The towers are drawing upon the land's ether, which would explain how they were able to carry out the summonings.
Our allies must be informed of this. We should return to the Rising Stones and have Tataru relay our findings to them.
Are they sucking up the energy?
Hear me.
Oh shoot, that's
Hear me. Darkness comes. And with it, the end. The fate of the star is in your hands.
That was Heidelin.
Everything all right back there?
At solemn dawn, grim purpose shines, and gazes cast toward moonlit sky. Thus does our final curtain rise, your steps to guide what ends betides. A new chapter, New Game Plus has been added, Under the Darkened Moon. Well, that's all for today, folks. Remember, no spoilers.